How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Nihilus here. So, Tuesday was a day full of, everything happening all at once that anyone could possibly just dig in and make a video on. There's just so much that anyone could possibly talk about. And I'm gonna be talking about one of the biggest things and one of the first things that I ended up hearing about, not even from commentary channels, but actually from a friend of mine over at the school that I'm currently at. And apparently, Xbox slash Microsoft slash, whatever it is, I'll just say Xbox, has essentially bought up Activision and Blizzard. Well, basically just Activision, just in total. And there's definitely been a lot of differing opinions on multiple different sides talking about this, and I just kind of wanted to chime in and talk about how I kind of personally feel about this. So, let's just start it off here. So, first off, let's just talk about the two companies here. So, we have Microsoft here that at this point practically almost owns, every single, possible game publisher, IP, or just game development, area just in general. They own Minecraft, they own, various Sony things and whatnot, like Sony games and whatnot, and probably a few others that I just have absolutely no idea about. Now that they own Activision, they own quite a lot more. They own, all of the different things that Activision owns, I think, Modern Warfare, all that kind of stuff. Apparently, Crash Bandicoot, Candy Crush, and all that kind of stuff. And, say what you will about Microsoft and Xbox, I have my own reservations about, how I personally feel about them. I'm not entirely the biggest fan of how they're almost kind of slowly becoming this weird monopoly, if you will, but at least for the most part, from what I've seen, they're at least kind of taking the ancient phrase of great power comes with great responsibility and kind of taking it in strides and making sure that they don't overstep things to a degree that would end up pissing everybody off. So, a lot of the stuff regarding Minecraft and whatnot, them trying to force people over to a new thing that from what I've heard is actually complete dog shit. Thankfully they're still supporting the old launcher and whatnot, so yeah, kind of feel bad for those that decide to switch over to the new one, because from what I heard, a lot of shit ends up getting axed when you do that. But that's besides the point. That could possibly be another video for another day. And Xbox now owning all of these other different titles and whatnot, and that's going to be going over to their Game Pass. Personally, I'm not really one to be such and such platform is better than whatever other platform exists out there. You can play on whatever you want, but if you start saying that, playing on mobile is, superior to everything else, then that's when I actually start to have an issue, because, well, you're possibly delusional, but whatever. But the fact that now Xbox quite literally owns a, company that has, at least pretty much for the past, few years, has been in the spotlight for some of the dumbest and, of course, especially during the last, 1 or 2 years, has essentially been known for some of the most heinous garbage happening over there. I mean, all I can really say is that, in terms of, an optics standpoint, it definitely makes Activision at least look a little bit better that they're now under the wing of, a company that at least seems to at least somewhat care about, its consumers and whatnot, because pretty much, ever since, EA and whatnot has essentially just kind of fallen out of fashion of being the internet's punching bag. At this point, no one really cares about EA. I guarantee you, whatever their last biggest, publish in terms of a game was over at EA, no one actually gave a shit about it. It probably was shit. No one cares about EA anymore. Most people were basically just kind of honing that, shit-stained limelight onto, Activision, considering the fact that, well, they've kind of been a lot more egregious in terms of being excessively greedy, and again, over the past couple of years, have essentially been known for, well, some of the worst things that you could possibly imagine happening, behind closed doors. And the fact that, well, now the original head of Activision is now stepping down because of this purchase, and now it's being purchased by a corporation that at least seems to try to care about its consumers. it probably is going to look pretty well. And, you know, there were some people that were actually, you know, kind of worried that, you know, some of these games are going to become, you know, exclusive only to Xbox and, like, you know, whatever else. But, you know, for those that have at least been paying attention, you know, with Microsoft and whatnot, that's not going to really be the case. It's more or less those, you know, games are going to be expanding over to those platforms rather than becoming exclusives. Like, I mean, let's just be honest here, okay? Like, if the problem was going to be Microsoft making, you know, like, such and such games that they ended up acquiring only exclusive to one specific platform, then that would essentially mean that by now I probably wouldn't even have Minecraft gameplay in the background right now because I would have had to play it on a goddamn Xbox. But thankfully, it's still on PC, you know, people still have the option to choose between the Chad Java edition and the Virgin Bedrock edition, and, you know, we have all that, you know. At the end of the day, just this entire huge purchase is kind of a mixed bag, but for the most part, at least in my opinion, I don't exactly see it as that bad of a thing, especially considering Activision's reputation over these past, like, few years and whatnot. This is really only going to likely go well for them, and I can only imagine what could possibly happen in the future. Yeah. But anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, which one we'd talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. You know, handles on screen, and yeah. Anyways, guys, this has been Sandy, and have yourselves a nice day.
Sometime, a song in my heart, a world of worry falling on your mind. When don't we leave?